The steady hum of conversation inside National Bank was broken only by the rhythmic clicks of keyboards and the polite, mechanical "next, please," echoing from behind the glass counters. It was a Friday morning, payday, and the line stretched past the entrance. Among the crowd was an old man, his gray hair neatly combed, his worn-out jacket pressed but aged, and his shoes dusty from walking. He held a small folder close to his chest, the kind that carried decades of memories and dignity. When his turn finally came, he stepped forward to the counter where Amanda Price, the youngest teller in the branch, stood. She wore a crisp navy suit and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Good morning, sir," she said, glancing at his old-fashioned paper forms. "What can I do for you today?" "I'd like to make a withdrawal," the man replied, his voice steady but gentle. "For my business account." Amanda barely looked up. "Do you have an online account, sir? It's easier to handle these things digitally." "I prefer to do it in person," he said quietly, sliding the form toward her. "I've been banking here for 42 years. Her smile twitched. "I see," she said, flipping through the papers. "And how much are we withdrawing today?" "Just 15,000. Amanda froze. "I'm sorry, what?" She laughed under her breath. "Sir, we can't just hand out that kind of cash without verification." "I understand," he said, nodding politely. "I brought identification." But Amanda was already shaking her head. "No, sir. You'll have to wait for the manager. And next time, please come prepared. This isn't the 1980s. A couple of customers in line snickered. The old man's eyes lowered, but his posture didn't waver. "I assure you, my account has more than enough funds," he said. Amanda rolled her eyes. "I'm sure it does. But you'll have to wait. I have other customers who actually use modern banking." Her tone was sharp, cold. The old man nodded slowly and stepped aside. Across the lobby, the assistant manager, James, noticed the exchange. He frowned, recognizing the man but saying nothing as Amanda moved on to the next customer. 20 minutes passed. The old man waited patiently while Amanda chatted loudly with her coworker about weekend plans, ignoring the growing line. "Ma'am," the man said quietly after a long pause, "I've been waiting quite some time. Could you please check with the manager?" Amanda turned with an exasperated sigh. "Sir, I said you need to wait. You can't expect special treatment because you're old." The room fell silent. A young mother in line looked away. James stepped forward again, but the old man lifted a hand, a subtle gesture that stopped him. "Thank you, young lady," he said simply. "I'll wait a little longer." Amanda scoffed, whispering to her colleague, "Some people just don't get how the world works anymore." She didn't notice the security guard exchange a knowing glance with James. Just before noon, a black sedan pulled up in front of the bank. The doors opened, and out stepped 3 corporate executives in tailored suits. The air in the bank seemed to change instantly. Amanda straightened her blouse, whispering, "Looks like corporates here. Everyone, be sharp." The executives walked in briskly, and behind them, a tall man in his 50s entered, polished, confident, and clearly in charge. James hurried forward. "Mr. Weller. We weren't expecting you today, sir." Amanda blinked. "Mr. Weller?" The name rang a bell, Charles Weller, CEO of National Bank. But then her confusion deepened. Because the man she had refused to help, the old man in the worn jacket, stood up. And Mr. Weller himself walked straight to him. "Mr. Raymond," Weller said, shaking his hand warmly. "I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. You should have told me you were coming." Amanda's blood ran cold. The old man smiled. "Didn't want to make a fuss. I just wanted to see how things were running here." Amanda's eyes widened. "Mr. Raymond." The name was written right there on the old withdrawal slip, George Raymond, founder of National Bank. The founder. Her heart sank into her stomach. Mr. Weller turned toward Amanda's counter. "And how were you treated, sir?" Mr. Raymond's voice was calm, but his words carried weight. "Not the way I treated customers when I ran this bank." The silence was deafening. Amanda's lips parted, but no sound came out. Mr. Weller's expression hardened. "Miss Price, step into my office. Now." Every pair of eyes followed her as she walked, stiff, pale, humiliated, into the manager's glass office. Weller closed the door behind them. "Do you know who that man is?" I didn't, sir," she stammered. He didn't say, he just looked like. Like what? Weller interrupted sharply. Like someone beneath your time? We built this bank on service and respect. And you treated our founder like a nuisance. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't mean. Yes, you did, he said firmly. And that's the problem. Across the lobby, customers whispered as the old man stood quietly, watching. Moments later, Weller and Amanda emerged from the office. Miss Price will be taking an indefinite leave of absence, he announced. Effective immediately. Amanda's face crumpled. Please, sir. But Weller shook his head. Respect is free, Miss Price. And today, you couldn't afford it. Security escorted her out. The murmurs in the bank grew louder, some sympathetic, some approving. Mr. Raymond turned to the waiting customers and smiled gently. Thank you all for your patience. Please know that every person who walks into this bank matters, whether they have $1 or $1 million. A quiet applause broke out among the customers. Then, turning to Weller, he added, I think I'll stay involved again, visit more branches. It seems I've been away too long. Weller nodded. We'd be honored, sir. As Mr. Raymond prepared to leave, he stopped by the counter where Amanda had been standing. He picked up one of the pens, its golden tip engraved with the bank's slogan. Integrity before interest. He looked at it for a moment, then placed it back on the counter. Outside, the black sedan waited. But just before he stepped in, a suited man across the street took a photo of him with a hidden camera and made a quick phone call. Yeah, the man said quietly. He's back. Tell the board we have a problem. The car door closed, and Mr. Raymond's reflection disappeared behind the tinted glass. The bank had learned its lesson, but the real battle was only beginning. 2 weeks had passed since the humiliating scene at National Bank. Amanda Price sat alone in her small apartment, the blinds half drawn, the glow of her laptop screen reflecting off tear-streaked cheeks. Every night since her firing replayed in her mind like a bad dream, the whispers, the looks, the words, respect is free, Miss Price. And today, you couldn't afford it. But tonight, something new gnawed at her. A small voice, the one that had whispered beneath the noise, said something wasn't right about that day. Not about the old man, but about the bank itself. As she scrolled through online forums, she found an anonymous post from a bank employee claiming that millions of dollars were being quietly shifted between shadow accounts under the guise of internal transfers. One of those accounts was listed under the name G. Raymond. Her eyes widened. No, it can't be. Amanda slipped on a coat and left her apartment under the cover of night. The branch was dark, but the security lights outside still illuminated the marble sign. National Bank, integrity before interest. She scoffed bitterly at the slogan. Through an old contact, a friend in IT named Marcus, she gained remote access to the bank's internal transaction logs. What she saw made her heart pound. Hundreds of large transfers had been routed through inactive legacy accounts, all marked confidential exec. The oldest account carried the founder's name. Someone's been using his identity, Marcus whispered through the phone. If this leaks, it'll destroy the bank. Amanda hesitated. Or the person who's running it from the inside. Meanwhile, in a boardroom downtown, Mr. George Raymond sat across from the current CEO, Thomas Weller. I've reviewed the reports from the branch, Raymond said calmly. I appreciate how you handled that teller situation. But there's something else I want to discuss, the ledgers. Weller froze slightly. The ledgers? I still get statements from a few accounts in my name, the old man continued. And I've noticed changes. Balances that don't add up. Weller forced a smile. I'll have accounting look into it, sir. Probably a clerical error. Raymond's eyes narrowed. In my day, clerical errors didn't move $5 million overnight. Weller's jaw tightened. I assure you, sir, everything is under control. But Raymond could tell something was very wrong. Later that night, Amanda sent an anonymous email to the old man. She didn't expect him to reply. But the next morning, she received a call. This is George Raymond, the voice said. I believe you have information I need. They met at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of town. Amanda looked nervous, clutching her phone like a shield. Sir, before you say anything, she began, I owe you an apology. I treated you terribly, and you didn't deserve it. Mr. Raymond smiled gently. Apology accepted. But I have a feeling that's not why you called. She slid her laptop across the table. Someone inside your company is using your old accounts to move massive sums of money. They're using your name to cover it up. Raymond's expression darkened as he scrolled through the files. Where did you get this? I used to work there, she said. Now I just want to make things right. He nodded slowly. Then maybe we can help each other. Later that week, Mr. Raymond attended a private shareholders meeting. The tension in the room was thick. Weller stood at the head of the table, presenting glowing profit charts. As you can see, National Bank continues to experience record growth. But Raymond interrupted. And how do you explain the $12.4 million that disappeared into untraceable operational accounts? The room went silent. Weller blinked. Excuse me? Raymond slid a file onto the table. You've been moving investor money into shell accounts. Care to explain? Before Weller could respond, the door burst open. Amanda, escorted by 2 federal investigators. Actually, she said, voice trembling but firm, we can. Weller's face turned pale. What is this? The agents stepped forward. Thomas Weller, you're under investigation for financial fraud and money laundering. The board members erupted in shock. Raymond leaned back, calm but furious. Integrity before interest, remember? 2 days later, news outlets everywhere reported the scandal. National Bank CEO arrested for embezzlement, former founder returns to save company. Customers poured back in, pledging loyalty to the man who built the bank's reputation from the ground up. Raymond reinstated Amanda, not as a teller, but as head of customer ethics. You made a mistake, he told her. But you faced it, and made it right. That's leadership. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you, sir. I won't forget this. Weeks later, as balance returned to the bank, Raymond sat in his old office, restored, peaceful, proud. But as he sorted through his mail, one envelope caught his eye. No return address. Inside was a single note written in elegant handwriting. You stopped one leak, but not the source. A friend at the board. Raymond looked out the window, eyes narrowing. The camera panned slowly to the city skyline, the reflection of the bank tower shimmering in the glass. Justice may expose the corrupt, but power always hides in the shadows. And sometimes, the real enemy wears the same suit.